Hello, and thanks for joining me on Food from Farming. I'm Sarah Michaels, and I'm here with Abigail Peterson. She's an agronomist at Illinois Soybean Association. Soybean planting time is right here. Long ago and far away, soybeans used to be planted after corn. Now more and more it seems soybeans are planted before corn. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, you're right. It has been the trend in farming as the springs have gone on to plant soybeans earlier and earlier. It's been that fun game of gambling with what we can do with what weather we get and how early we can plant those soybeans and what yield at the end of the year, did it pay off or not. And obviously there's a lot of risk when you start to push it too far, because in Illinois springs we never know if we're going to get a lot of rain, if it's going to be cold and wet for very long, and where to challenge the system. And yes, it's before corn most of the time now. Farmers either have two planters now that can do corn and beans at the same time, or they're more agile to switching between the crops because it is, when it's right to get the bean in, you got to go.
What do the insurance providers say about this early planting times?
So recently, RMA and Crop Insurance, the Risk Management Agency, has increased the planting dates within their programs to earlier. So they've recognized that farmers have been making this trend. There's risk, but then there's a certain point that it has been profitable long enough that they've made changes within what has been stated before. So down in southern Illinois, that's moved up to April 5th. In the middle parts of the state, April 10th, and then in the northern parts of the state, April 15th.
What happens if we have a late frost or too much weather? How can that soybean plant respond?
So we're all too familiar with what frost can do, and we've been blessed with some very interesting springs where we've gotten away with having a snow cover and still seeing beans get out of it, but then there are those harsh frosts, especially with exposed soil, where those beans don't survive and replants happen. But there's a lot of risk associated with going too early, even with disease. So Rhizoctonia, Pythium, those diseases can take hold and also reduce stands quite a bit. And so we don't want to go too early, but you don't want to go too late. Farmers usually know from walking fields and feeling soil conditions, you know, is it balling up? Is it too moist to get equipment across, and taking a step back and waiting?
Abigail, thank you so much for some fabulous information. We appreciate you being with us. Remember who butters your bread and thank a farmer. I'm Sarah Michaels.